One always dies. Too soon or too late. Jean-Paul Sartre. No exit. Within a small airport in South Dakota, Jackie McGee is negotiating with her editor, Murray, over the phone. They just broke the story, and if they want to keep it, they will have to break it again. Jackie knows there were Hulk sightings before they made them the front page, but they have given those random Hulk sightings legitimacy. The government can deny and obfuscate all they want. People know Bruce Banner's alive. They're starting to believe it. So now, the press believes it too. And they are on it. The Times, the Post, the Bugle. Everyone's sniffing green blood in the water. If the Arizona Herald wants to stay in the race, it's not going to be enough to just chase Banner. They need to find him. Jackie lets out a long, drawn-out sigh. Okay, fine. I need to find him. Happy? Look, this is my story, Murray. Yes, I'm keeping my objectivity. It's not about what happened when I was... Murray! Just listen, okay? We need Banner to go on the record. The guy I'm meeting can help with that. And look at it like this. Even if we can't find Banner, his college roommate is the next best thing. At that moment, a gruff man walks up, rolling his luggage, and introduces himself. Jacqueline McGee? Hi, I'm Walter Langkowski, or Sasquatch if you'd rather. Canada's own hairy half-a-Hulk turned space diplomat, and Bruce Banner's college roommate. Pleasure to meet you. The two leave the airport and drive across state lines to Minnesota. There has been a fresh Hulk sighting, so it looks like Walter's interview will have to be made on the run. The first question Jackie asks to Walter is how they met. How we met? Well, this was at Penn State University. He transferred there for a semester. Penn had lab facilities, Desert State didn't. Gamma facilities. Anyway, he needed a research assistant. And there I was, with a football scholarship, a head for physics, and a passion for knowledge. We got along like a house on fire. Mostly. I remember one time he said to me, "For pity's sake, Langkowski, you can't just pick up advanced gamma theory. This isn't learning the ocarina of time in 5 easy steps. You're a jock, a half-smart jock, a jock with ambitions, but a jock is what you are. Everyone already fawns over you for carrying a ball around. You want them to love you for your mind, too? Well, tough. You get the football. This is mine. Mine! Jackie is speechless. She looks away from the road and to Walter for a second. Wow, he went off like that a lot? Walter throws his hand up and waves the thought away. Once or twice, a few times. But look, his mother was dead. His dad was in the institution. He was holding in a lot. He was usually pretty fun to be around. One time, he gave all his clothes away to Goodwill and bought 10 identical suits. Like Einstein, he said. All his pants were purple though. Sounds a little manic, Jackie comments. He had his ups and downs, but he did get me seeing gamma radiation in a whole new way. I was a dabbler, obviously. Football was my career. Science was just a hobby that made me seem interesting. But then I got serious. Long story short, I quit football and made it my mission to duplicate what had happened to Bruce. And at the cost of my fortune, and with the funding and encouragement from Department H, the Canadian Superhero Monitoring Agency, we went ahead and did it. Walter quits speaking for a moment and looks out of the car at the open land passing him by. Ever been hit by a gamma bomb, Jackie? It's a trip. A trip, huh? Jackie asks. Walter's story stirs up memories. Jackie tries to focus on the road, but she can't help it. She's a little girl again, and her dad is telling her, don't look. However, the young Jackie doesn't stop staring. No matter how much her father shakes her or pleads, it falls on deaf ears. In front of her, the ruins of her neighborhood. Dozens of houses in pieces, broken down to the ground. Cars are overturned and fires roar. Clouds of black smoke billow into the air. And in the center of it all, he was there. Remember what the TV said, baby girl. The emergency broadcast. If he's near, you keep quiet and you keep still. Don't draw attention. Don't look him in the eye. Walter replies, yeah, that look in your eye. I do get it. That's why I did it. I was a jock, remember? I worked out. I was twice as strong as Bruce, easily. So, the thinking went, my Hulk could counter his, create a deterrent for Canada, for the world, and my personality would remain in control. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a pretty laid-back guy, not so prone to anger. So, what was the catch? Jackie asks as they pull into a city, passing a small Roxxon gas station. There is always a catch, isn't there? We did the test in the Arctic Circle. On the off chance I did start smashing, nobody was around to get hurt. But the walls of reality are thin up there, and a controlled gamma bombardment did something we didn't expect. Something outside conventional science. It opened something. A kind of door between this world and a darker one. A world of beasts and demons. And one of them got into me. Tanarak, one of the old beasts of the north. But that was a long time ago. Tanarak's dead, and I'm in control of Sasquatch now. Really? Jackie can't stop herself from wincing slightly. Glad to hear it, because one monster's enough. The two arrive at the scene of the Hulk sighting, only to be met with orange cones, caution tape, and the sound of newscopters hovering overhead. From the looks of it, 2 cars were picked up and slammed into each other before being thrown on the ground. And then another van was slammed on top of them. Walter places his hands on his hips. Ah, the Hulk School of Vehicle Maintenance. Jackie tells him, I'll get the details. After that, we should look for a bar. Little early, isn't it? We're not drinking. We're going for information, like Banner does. He did it in Colorado and again in South Dakota. It's how he finds out about things. Things he can smash. Jackie and Walter stumble across a small restaurant called the Tripes, Burgers, and Beers. The bartender recognizes the picture Jackie shows her of Bruce Banner. She says that Bruce came in asking all kinds of questions about a guy named Noah Swanson. Yeah, Jackie confirms. The police told me. Big meth dealer, wasn't he? It's his van with the car smashed into Garland Street? Oh yeah, you betcha, the bartender answers. I said to him, oh geez, I said, you don't want to go asking too many questions there, fella. Suddenly, 2 men begin arguing on the other side of the bar. Screw you, one yells at the other. This interrupts the bartender, and she, in turn, yells, oh hey now, you two keep it down, okay? Don't make me come over there. Sorry, Pam. The other man apologizes. You heard her. Keep it down, jerk. Screw you, repeats the first man. Are they regulars? Jackie asks. The bartender sighs out. Oh yeah, you betcha. They're really quiet usually though. Don't know what's gotten into them. At that moment, the 2 men stand up from their seats and begin to fight one another. Walter sees this and gets up from his own seat, fixes his jacket, and prepares to separate the 2 men. Relax, he tells the women. I've got this. Space diplomat, remember? Walter forces himself in between the 2 men and attempts to settle them both down. Okay, boys, why don't you tell Uncle Walt what's got you so riled up on such a nice day? Ask him, the first man shouts. He knows all about it. Walter, confused, turns to the second man. All about what? Come on, tell me. What are you two even fighting over? Where's all this anger coming from? Now, Walter's back is turned. He doesn't see when the first man scowls at him. He doesn't notice when the first man digs into his jacket pocket and pulls out a knife. He doesn't realize the danger he's in until he gets stabbed in the back. Walter's body drops to the floor. The next thing Jackie knows, she's in the hospital and paramedics are rushing Walter into the emergency room. One of the staff on duty tells Jackie that she is going to need to stay put for a while. The police are sending someone to take her statement. Walter Langkowski, the nurse mutters as she enters Walter's information into the computer. That's real familiar. Yeah, Jackie tells her. He's a superhero. Sasquatch. From Alpha Flight. Oh yeah, I know him. Big orange fella, usually. Yeah, big and orange. Pretty much all the time. But not then. He gets cut open and he doesn't change. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he want to? About an hour later, the detective sent to the hospital is finishing up his interview with Jackie. And that's everything, Ms. McGee? Yes, detective. It was all just out of nowhere. I don't think they even knew they did it. The detective scribbles down some final notes, closes his notebook, and places it back into his jacket pocket. Well, call us if you remember any more, but I think that'll do it. Though, if you do find Bruce Banner, Miss McGee, we'd sure like to talk to him, you know? Jackie sinks back in her seat and mumbles under her breath, Yeah, me too. A man wearing a red hat and a dirty brown coat sits in the seat next to Jackie. Good timing then, he tells her. Here I am. What happened to Langkowski? Jackie freezes. She doesn't look in his direction. He's in surgery. He was stabbed while we were looking for you. I'm sorry, what? What are you doing here? Following a hunch, Bruce says coolly. All humans emit radiation. Simple biophotons mostly, barely measurable. But the gamma infected, we have a very unique signature. And Walter's is just like mine. You can sense that? Jackie asks, amazed. Not me, Bruce responds. He can. Within the operating room, Walter begins to flatline. The doctors attempt to inject vasopressin in order to start his heart back up, but he isn't responding. No matter what the doctors do, Walter's life continues to fade away. Eventually, they give up. They rip off their gloves and take off their masks. They throw them in the trash and prepare to leave the room. In the waiting room, Bruce asks, what was Walter's prognosis when they brought him in? I don't know, Jackie answers truthfully. Not good. The paramedics said they could lose him. Potentially more than him. Walter, he wanted to turn himself into a second Hulk, you see? His gamma signature is just like mine. Exactly like mine. And now, the sun's gone down. It's night. And the night is his time. Bruce turns to Jackie. The bags under his eyes are sunken with sorrow. He tells her, we need to evacuate the hospital. Now. Within the operating room, the doctors prepare to call Walter's time of death. But then, they hear the sounds of bones breaking, skin stretching, metal creaking. They look back to Walter and realize he's transforming. His hands grow and the points of his fingers turn to claws. His jaw protrudes as his sharp fangs gleam in the light. His fur begins to spread all across his body. "My God," whispers a doctor. "God above," he prays. "God above," snarls Sasquatch. "No, quite the reverse."